So Michelle, do you want to tell us about the work you do at the SBDC?
Sure. So the Small Business Development Center is a federally funded program that provides no-cost consultation to businesses to help them start and grow. What's really unique about our center is we not only do the consultation, we also provide non-credit courses to business owners that follow the life cycle of an entrepreneur.
So one of the things you talked about yesterday was intrapreneurship. And let's talk about that, the difference between intrapreneurship starting with an I versus entrepreneurship with an E.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about that?
Sure, absolutely. Entrepreneurship is really about starting your own company, using your own resources to move forward an idea. Entrepreneurship is using the resources and tools that a company has to forward an idea. So you get to be creative and innovative within the context and the confines of your company. So you get access to all of those great resources, marketing, finance, engineering, whatever it happens to be, in order to propel an idea forward.
So, and you've been teaching at the CUNA Management School, you said, for 4 or 5 years. And one of the key elements you wanted to bring to the program was innovation. Do you want to talk about how you've brought that idea into the program?
Yeah, so CUNA Management School is really about cultivating leadership. And one of the things that I think is really important for leaders is to understand that innovation plays a role in the growth and development of your company. So where does that come from, right? So how do we develop leaders with an innovation mindset? So my session is really about understanding what innovation is, what it looks like, and then how do we cultivate that within companies? What are the ways in which we can champion an innovation mindset among employees? And then what are the tools that we can use to provide frameworks that can propel ideas forward?
Okay, and what are those tools? You talk a lot about those tools, and the students in the classes use those tools. It's very hands-on, and it really makes it, I guess, very immersive, even before you get to the actual, it makes it very immersive and hands-on learning.
Yeah, well, one of the things I want to do every time that I teach at CUNA Management School is make sure that there's takeaways for the students. What can they bring back to their credit union and start to apply? So we use an entrepreneur's toolkit. What are entrepreneurs using to propel ideas forward, and what can we apply within the context of organizations? So one of the tools that I teach is the Business Model Canvas. Business Model Canvas was developed around 2010 by Alexander Oosterwalder, and it's really meant to map out your business model. So it's comprised of 9 building blocks that really encompass all aspects of the way a business operates. So it's an amazing place to put an idea down and then see, how does my idea, my value proposition, impact our customers in the credit union world, your members? What's the relationship that we need to have in order to propel this idea forward? What channels are we going to use to reach them? What about revenue? What activities do we have to do? Who could partner with us? What are key costs? What resources do we already have on hand? And in one visual layout, we can see whether an idea really will function well within an organization.
Let's drill down a little bit on that value proposition. What is that value proposition? What does it have to do does it have to differentiate the credit union or the product?
So it really is about whatever this idea could be. It could be an internal idea. It could be some way we function with staff, or it could be new product development. So when we talk about value proposition, it's what are we going to provide to our customers and members that gives them value? So we start out very simply and say, what is it that we're doing? You know, what is it that you want to sell them? Define it, and then say, why you? What is it that you're going to bring that's different than what somebody else could bring? What resources, tools, expertise that do you have that's going to make this a really good fit for your members?
And one thing you also talked about is how closely tied innovation is to change. And I think one thing you almost said word for word is change is going to happen whether we want it to happen or not. Perfect example is something everybody's been talking about all summer is artificial intelligence. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk a little bit about the cultural change that credit unions or any business has to go through to be innovators and entrepreneurs?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. What I do say in that session is change is coming, ready or not, here it comes, right? That's one thing we can expect.
You may as well be an innovator. I mean,
Right.
get lost.
Right. And what we always say is, in that session, I'll talk about, there's the need to recognize that because change is going to happen, we have to embrace it. And how do we embrace it? We can embrace it in the entrepreneurial mindset that we cultivate, in the way that we listen to our employees about new ideas. How is it that we're going to bring change into our organizations, and not just in a reactionary way? And one of the things that we have the advantage of coming through the pandemic for is that we can say we weren't ready for that to happen. But what are the lessons that we learned? What can we do to be prepared and to be more nimble as organizations? And I think that's why embracing innovation and ideas are important.
Did the pandemic really push forward that entrepreneur mindset, that innovator mindset? I mean,
in my mind, it absolutely did.
From where you sit?
Yeah, it absolutely did. Think about all the creative solutions that we saw popping up during the pandemic, where people had no choice but to come up with a better way or a different way to do something that, just to keep people safe and to make sure that we all maintained our good health. So it absolutely said we value new ideas, we value creative solutions, we value critical thinking.
Just the velocity of change.
Yep, absolutely. So taking that mindset and maybe not as much change in such a short period of time, but capturing that mindset and saying, how can we as a company value that and then cultivate that among employees? The other thing I think is important is the war for talent is real, right? We want to retain great employees. We want to attract great employees. And so how can we do that? We can show them that we are interested in their ideas and we value what they can bring to the table. And the way you do that is by showing them paths, right? This is how we're going to bring you in. And this is, when you see a problem, we want you to come up with a solution and bring it to the team. And we want to involve you in this rather than have you just come to work and do just the tasks at hand.
And that makes work more fun.
Right. You're more likely to stay at a company that values your ideas and thinks wants to hear what you have to say or wants to hear what you have to think than a company that doesn't.